everyone, it's Alex Writz, Certified Professional Dog Trainer, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to add a second dog into your life in terms of setting up some sleeping arrangements. So I myself have 2 dogs, so I have personal experience going through this of having one dog and then bringing a second dog, this one, into my life, and trying to set that up to make it work so we can all get the sleep we need without any concerns. You want to probably prepare to have your dogs sleep separately, at least at first, because you want to make sure that they don't get too much forced time together. One, they can get tired and cranky of each other's space around each other, and then 2, sometimes they don't want to stop playing and then nobody gets any sleep. So we don't want to force them to be together. We don't want to have them try and wrestle and play and nobody get any sleep. So plan on separate sleeping arrangements for probably at least the first week until stuff starts to settle in. This might mean that one dog sleeps in a bed in a bedroom, one dog sleeps in a crate. Dogs could both sleep in crates, but just not both either loose together in the same room or crated together. You'll never ever want to crate your dogs together. That forces them to have to both be in the same place at the same time, and if one of them gets annoyed, there's no escape. So it's a recipe for fights to happen, so you never want to crate them together, but you could crate them separately just next to each other. With my dogs, they both sleep, loose with us in our bedroom at night. But at first they did spend nights. The first one spent a lot of nights in his kennel growing up, until I could trust him to be out of his kennel and not have an accident or chew something he wasn't supposed to overnight. And then when I got my second dog, that was my plan, was to crate him. Other dog still sleeps loose, and even though my second dog Hobbs had been crated before, the stress of moving and being in a new place and everything just made it so he was very, very frustrated with being in a crate. There was a lot of yelling and a lot of frustration when I attempted to crate him that night I brought him home. So instead, I tried to sleep with him in the living room, and he kept grabbing toys and running around, and it was like midnight, 1 a.m, and I was like, I need to sleep. Even if you've had a really long day, so I feel like you need to sleep too. But we were in an apartment at the time, so I had kind of limited options as far as like places without stuff for the puppy to get into. So I ended up crating him baby gating him in the hallway. So I had a little hallway, shut all the doors, put a baby gate up. So we just had a small, tiny area. I laid out on the floor and he slept there with me. And that was how we handled the first night. Then we were able to progress to sleeping in a pen, like an X pen that had been set up next to the couch, and then eventually to being tethered with me in bed. So on a leash that was attached right to my side of the bed while he was in a harness, so he couldn't go scratch at the door because he was very frustrated by any kind of barrier, including the fact that the bedroom door was shut at night. And then now he sleeps just loose in the bedroom, either door shut or a gate. So we had a lot of options we had to try when I first got him to make sure that everybody, including the new puppy, could get the sleep that they needed. So in general, it's best to plan on trying to crate your new puppy. But if they haven't had any crate experience or are not having a bad experience in the crate, it's ideal if we can have that kind of setup of a pen or a puppy-proof space, just so your puppies don't associate bad feelings with the crate as you work towards them being able to be crated. You could eventually work towards them both being in the room with you at night if they get along and that's something that you want, puppy snuggles up in bed. You can also work on having them sleep in their own room. They could be crated. They could be crated in different places. They can be crated next to each other. There's a lot of different options as far as what you can do for sleeping arrangements. Just again, make sure that we're practicing separate sleeping at first so that everybody gets the sleep they need. We don't have any, tussles or anything in the middle of the night if one of them gets annoyed with the other. And then working towards crating is also a great goal, a great option. So a lot of different possibilities that you can do. In order to help teach your puppy to like their crate or like their pen, it's good to give them their meals and other delicious things in there. So when I was working on teaching Hobbs how to like his pen, we worked on you only get Kongs and delicious chew things in here. And not only is it a great way to help them associate that place with good things, but it's also great in a multi-dog household so that you can separate them when they're having something high value. Dogs can easily resource guard things that they perceive to be of value. So a stuffed Kong or a meal can be perceived that way by a lot of dogs. So by having them each in their own crate or in their own pen, their own separate space, you'll be able to give them those things that they want and enjoy while not worrying about dog fights happening or scuffles happening or just any ill feelings toward each other happening, because they'll each have their own separate place. So kind of double whammy, and works well in general as a skill when you have a multi-dog household. A crate or a pen is also going to be a great way to help set your puppy up for success with potty training, because you'll be able to have them in the crate when you can't watch them. They're less likely to soil their crate because it's a smaller area where they're used to sleeping. So that's another great option there as well. Your dogs, if you have your crates around and you just leave the door open, they may choose to spend time in there together. Mine sometimes do. But the difference between crating them together and them choosing to go in there together is that, one, the door's shut and there's no escape. And then in the other scenario, when they're choosing, the door's open. So one of them can always leave if they want to. And I also do keep an eye on that with my dogs. The crate that's usually up is really close by my desk. So if I notice one dog is getting tired and goes in there to take a nap, and the other one goes to try and encourage that dog to play, I will redirect the second dog to come out and play on their own with a toy or do a different activity, just so that they aren't annoying that dog in general, because we want our dogs to have those good relationships with each other and not a relationship of being annoyed and trying to leave the other dog. And mine do tend to get along very, very well, but just like with siblings or any kind of human relationship in general, sometimes the other one wants some space from the other. So we just work on redirecting to another area. So again, for puppies, bringing a second dog into your house, plan on those separate sleeping arrangements at first. What that looks like will vary on your puppy and their experiences. It can be anything from they're already good in a crate, you can crate them at night, you can do a pen, you can tether them, you can baby gate yourself in a hallway and sleep on the floor with them. Whatever you need to do to get through those nights of adjustment until you can work towards your goal. For more tips and tricks, check us out at houndgames.com, and don't forget to hit subscribe.